Ultra-processed foods, those industrially formulated products high in sugar, refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, and additives, have become deeply woven into daily diets across the globe. Their convenience, taste, and affordability make them particularly appealing, but the long-term consequences for appetite regulation and metabolic health are increasingly concerning. One of the most alarming aspects of ultra-processed foods is their capacity to trigger overeating, often unconsciously, and this susceptibility varies significantly across different stages of life, from adolescence through middle age. During adolescence, the brain undergoes significant development, particularly in regions involved in reward, impulse control, and decision-making. This developmental stage makes teens especially vulnerable to the hyper-rewarding properties of ultra-processed foods. Sugar-laden snacks, sweetened beverages, and highly palatable fast foods can hijack the brain's reward pathways, increasing cravings and diminishing the natural cues of satiety. Hormonal changes during puberty, particularly surges in insulin, leptin, and ghrelin, further exacerbate the issue. Leptin resistance, common in adolescents consuming high amounts of sugar and fat, blunts the feeling of fullness, while ghrelin, the hunger hormone, often remains elevated, driving repeated snacking episodes. Behaviorally, adolescents are more prone to social eating, emotional eating, and consumption driven by marketing and peer influence, making ultra-processed foods especially hard to resist. The danger here is not only excess weight gain, but also the early programming of the brain and metabolism for persistent food reward sensitivity, potentially setting the stage for lifelong overeating patterns. In young adults, the problem often shifts from hormonal vulnerability to lifestyle and environmental pressures. College, work, and social demands can reduce opportunities for structured meals, increasing reliance on fast, packaged, and convenient options. At this stage, metabolic efficiency is high, which can temporarily mask the consequences of overeating, but the cumulative effects of chronic consumption of ultra-processed foods, including insulin resistance, elevated triglycerides, and early signs of fatty liver, begin to emerge. Behavioral patterns solidify in this phase. Late-night snacking, frequent consumption of sugary drinks, and habitual fast food meals reinforce neural pathways that prioritize immediate pleasure over long-term health. Additionally, stress and sleep deprivation, common in this age group, amplify cravings and impulsive eating, further driving overconsumption. By middle age, susceptibility to overeating ultra-processed foods interacts more critically with declining metabolic resilience. Basal metabolic rate naturally slows, muscle mass gradually declines, and insulin sensitivity decreases, making overconsumption of calorie-dense, nutrient-poor foods more immediately harmful. Hormonal shifts, such as declining growth hormone and sex steroids, can alter body composition, making weight gain more likely and visceral fat accumulation more pronounced. Middle-aged adults may also experience compounded behavioral risk factors, habitual consumption patterns established earlier in life, busy schedules that favor convenience foods, and stress-related eating due to career and family pressures. At this stage, the negative effects of ultra-processed foods are not just subtle weight gain. They contribute directly to metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even cognitive decline. Across all age groups, there is a common thread. Ultra-processed foods are engineered to override the body's natural appetite regulation. Unlike whole foods, which require chewing, digesting, and absorbing nutrients in a way that naturally signals satiety, these products deliver rapid spikes of glucose and dopamine-like reward signals, encouraging the brain to seek more before fullness is registered. For those already prone to impulsive eating or hormonal imbalances, this effect is magnified. The long-term danger is a cycle of overconsumption that becomes increasingly difficult to break. Cravings strengthen, metabolic health deteriorates, and the risk of chronic disease escalates. In conclusion, susceptibility to overeating ultra-processed foods is not static. It evolves with age due to a complex interplay of hormonal, metabolic, and behavioral factors. Adolescents face heightened neural and hormonal vulnerability. Young adults are driven by lifestyle pressures and stress, and middle-aged individuals confront declining metabolic resilience compounded by entrenched habits. Across the lifespan, the overconsumption of ultra-processed foods poses serious, accumulating health risks, underscoring the importance of early intervention, education on food quality, and strategies to restore natural appetite regulation before permanent damage occurs. The message is clear. Ultra-processed foods are not merely a matter of poor diet choice. They are a potent driver of overeating and chronic disease, with age-specific consequences that demand attention.